The Dynasty Podcast is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. You were warned. The Dynasty Podcast is brought to you by Berkowitz Trucking. When it comes to rubbish removal and eco-friendly recycling, Berkowitz Trucking makes it simple. Don't be a dick. Berkowitz Trucking, servicing all of Riverdale since 1981.
It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to meet the assholes on the Dynasty tonight. That's right. It's time to put on makeup. It's time to dress up right. It's time to raise the curtain on the Dynasty tonight. Why do we always come here? I guess we'll never know. It's like some kind of torture to have to watch the show. And now let's get things started. Why don't you get things started? It's time to get things started on the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, sexuational. This is what we call the Dynasty Podcast.
And now, coming to you live from Riverdale Studios, your host, the one, the only, Eric Costanza!
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to episode number 10 of the Berkowitz Trucking Dynasty Podcast. We are coming to you live from Riverdale Studios. I am Commissioner Eric Costanza. With me, as always, is Bub Palucha.
Good afternoon, good night, morning, whenever you're listening to this. Hi.
And Bub, you survived the storm, okay? Hurricane Sandy.
No, I didn't.
Are you okay? What happened?
I didn't survive.
So you're a ghost.
Correct.
Okay. Well, we luckily just got the internet back up and running here in Riverdale Studios just about an hour before we started recording here on this Tuesday night. So we thought maybe we were gonna try to do this without the internet, but good old Charter came through.
Luckily for us, we would have had to place a phone call to them, I think.
Yeah, and then we would have spoken with a Michael with a very, very interesting accent who probably wouldn't have helped us at all.
Nope.
Bub, I got some bad news.
Do you?
I do.
What is it?
There's a little something called the Podcast Awards, and
I'm not familiar with
I'm going to fill you in. I'm going to fill in our listeners. So there's I think it's going on. It's an 8th or 9th year, actually, similar to the Dynasty. And what they do is they recognize all the thousands of podcasts around the nation, the good old United States of America. America, and they have a almost like a Academy Awards type of ceremony, which I believe is taking place in the beginning of January. And over the past few weeks, they opened up the nominations for all various podcasts to be submitted for them to then review, and then they were gonna make the nominations into various categories. And you don't know this, Bub, but I actually submitted our Dynasty podcast into the Podcast Awards.
Which episode?
All of them.
Okay.
It's just like the full, the show in general.
Okay.
Yeah. And I submitted it under the sports category and under the gaming category. Obviously, fantasy football being a game, I thought that was sufficient. You can only nominate it under 2 categories, so we went that route. And unfortunately, I did hear back, and we did not get nominated. So a little bit of disappointing, a little bit of bad news.
I thought we had a shot at it.
I actually legitly thought we did, and I'm going to be honest with you.
I didn't legitimately think so. No.
I think we will, because listen, you and listeners, go to podcastawards.com and check it out. It's very, very amateur-like, but that's what we do here as well. So, but the good news is that I honestly think that I don't think the reason we didn't get nominated was due to our content or what we do here in the show. I think it was more on the admin, like technology maintenance side of things, because there's just a few little nuggets of technology that we don't really have. Whatever the fucking RSS feed is, like things like that.
Ah, yes, the RSS feed.
Yeah.
Not up to their standards.
Well, we don't have one.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant.
Right. So there's a bunch of those types of, again, technological things that we just aren't eligible. I think we basically weren't eligible for them to nominate us.
That's baloney.
Right. We don't have like our own website and stuff like that. So the good news though is that technology analyst DeYoung and Brandon, who is kind of a tech savvy as well and working on a hopeful new website for the show or for the league. We're going to be in touch, the three of us. We're going to try to dedicate some time over the off season and really try to buckle down and get the website up and running, this RSS feed thing going, and try to really make the show eligible for the podcast awards for next year or maybe at some point in the future. And Bub, the awards actually take place in Las Vegas.
Ooh.
So I know that you were mentioning we should take a league trip out there, and we certainly can still do that for a draft. But if we ever do get actually nominated in the podcast awards for the United States of America under, say, the gaming or the sports category, obviously you and I are gonna have to go. I think the entire league should be invited. It's a black tie event. I'm sure there's celebrities there. Where if we ever won, like I might be getting ahead of myself. Maybe I'm thinking too big here. But I think you can feel that. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
I mean, it's basically it's not if, it's when. You know what I mean?
I would like to think when.
It's going to happen. So let's keep that in the back of our heads. We'll keep it on our agenda, maybe on the back page. But
yes.
So Vegas in 20 blank. Whenever we win a podcast award.
Hopefully soon, Bub, we will say that the Berkowitz Trucking Dynasty Podcast, podcast award winner, or something along those lines, or at least nominated. That'd be nice to be nominated.
I can't wait to go to school and say, hey, I'm going to need Monday, Tuesday off because I'm going to Vegas for the podcast awards.
Yes, that will hopefully that will happen someday. Now on this show here, we got a full slate. We'll look back at week 8. We'll take a look ahead to week 9. And then we will have Coach Will DeYoung of the Rock the Alien Senators for the coaches interview. And with Will being on the show and being the Dynasty Ethics Manager, I think this show, Bub, we should try to make maybe the show ethically themed.
How so?
Well, we may have issues with that because profanity gets tossed around like M&Ms.
You throw a lot of M&Ms around?
No, but
like the candy or the person?
The candy. Who's the person? You mean on the commercial? The
rapper M&M. Like you throw a lot.
No, the candy.
You meant the candy. Okay,
that's whipping M&M.
I don't know.
So the sexual innuendos always are getting thrown around, and.
So you're saying we should continue to do those, or should we not do those?
Let's try to just. We're going to do an ethically themed show, so you could or could not do it. It's up to you. Let's just wing it.
I
don't understand.
So,
well, I do want to point out, as far as the interactive segment is concerned, we did mention last week, Bob, at the end of the show, we kind of gave a little teaser there that we were going to have a 3-time Super Bowl champ on the show this week. Unfortunately, due to Hurricane Sandy, that's going to get postponed. It will happen. It probably is going to happen next week, either due to the presidential election. But at some point later in the season, we will be having the special guest, the 3-time Super Bowl champion, on the show. But I just wanted to let you guys know that it's not going to be this show or next show, but it'll be coming up soon.
Good.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Good. Now, but as far as this show's interactive segment, again, with it being ethically themed, we've had some credible interviews so far. This
Ren Geyer,
right? Mike Peake probably falls into that category. Then obviously we've had some fantasy football pertinent interviews like Jamie Eisenberg, Iggy from Sculpture Alley, and then we've had some foolish fun interviews. I don't know, maybe Barbara Hoshka or
my lover.
Oh
Lisa Costanza.
Yes, my mom.